Around Kansas, brought to you by
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. Go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter. And again, here we are. Are you holding up okay? Or
So far, my meds are keeping me alert.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've really had some kind of nice stuff today to talk about, and so now historian is going to kick in over here, and we're going to talk about another.
Yeah, I bring the violence in. I'm always bringing the violence.
The violence
in.
here. All of these. Well, the thing is as we've discussed before, the Civil War pretty much started in Kansas in the 1850s. I mean,
it really did. So fortunately, so many of those sites are beautiful parks now. There's lots of tulips blooming in a lot of these battlefields. So yeah, they are. It's like that old joke about, why did they pick these big parks to have all these battles in?
Let's go to the park.
Yeah, let's go to the park and fight. Yeah, that's it. So Kansas City, the Battle of Westport, which is the Battle of Westport. Westport is sort of the entertainment district. You've got the bars and restaurants and everything. And Westport was Westport Landing. So it sort of predates Kansas City itself. And that's where settlers would get off and head west. So the Battle of Westport was a piece of the Battle of the Blue, which is a 3-day battle in October of 1864. A really big deal. It was a last-ditch effort. The Confederates are trying to take Missouri, and of course Kansas is afraid of being invaded. It's only a year after Quantrill burned Lawrence, so Kansas is really afraid of being invaded. Now there is a wonderful museum there at Westport. I got to go, Frank, I have done some cool stuff. I got to go to this site a few years ago with a couple of my buddies from the Command and General Staff College, Ed Kennedy and Tom Chichota. We took 20 visiting French officers to the Battle of Westport. And we did the whole Battle of the Blue. So we started out at Buckner, Missouri, and we just make a day of it and come into Westport. And then we wind up in Liberty that evening, and I take them to James Country Mercantile, and I have them all buying Confederate on their way back to France. Just a tiny bit subversive here, I just can't help but have a little bit of that come out. But anyway.
So.
Yeah, just look at the tulips. Look at the tulips. But the museum opens this April for the season, so April through October, and it's just one of those places you tend to overlook because it's right in the heart of Kansas City. But it's well worth the trip.
Well, there's some antique shops around there too, so make a day of it.
That's right. The Battle of Westport covered more than 25 square miles during the 3 days in October 1864. Confederate General Sterling Price's invasion of Missouri, designed to gain both men and supplies, would have meant the invasion of Kansas as well, and our governor called out troops, the equivalent to our National Guard today, to help repel the threat. The Battle of Westport Visitor Center and Museum in Kansas City's Swope Park tells the story of the largest Civil War battle fought west of the Mississippi. Overlooking the Big Blue River Valley and the nearby historic Byram's Ford Crossing, the center commands a vista from the sweeps across the fields to the river, an idyllic view now where war raged more than 150 years ago. The center, which opened in October 2008, depicts the experiences of the civilians and soldiers caught in the vortex of war during the 3 days of the battle on October 21st through 23rd. Visitors learn about the most dramatic event in Kansas City's history. From the tower of the center, visitors can see the panoramic view where Union General Samuel Curtis constructed a defensive line stretching for 10 miles along the banks of the Big Blue River. Here, visitors may also travel along the 32-mile self-guided tour of the Battle of Westport, designated by the Manette Battle of Westport Fund markers. Nothing speaks more eloquently of this conflict than the words of those who were there. At 8 a.m., crossed the creek, called the Big Blue, the battlefield of yesterday. There, for the first time, the unburied dead were seen, the unmistakable marks of a stern and cruel war. At every step of our advance, the evidence of a fierce and bloody conflict was around us. It was a sad sight, the old, the middle-aged, and youth. The enemy took here a stubborn and determined stand. It was a cavalry fight, carbines, pistols, and sabers. Horse against horse, man against man. Sabers right and left. The saber cuts visible on the face, neck, and arm. The wounded and dead horses seen all over the field. Our loss is estimated at about 400. The enemy's loss is from 1,000 to 1,500. George Swain, Quartermaster, 58th Illinois Infantry, 24 October, 1864.
Well, you made it, so I guess we'll see you next Wednesday. I'm Frank.
I'm Deb.
And we'll see you somewhere around Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.